Financial peace of mind, the financial independence formula. Financial independence appears to be on everyone's minds and for good reason. According to the study, roughly 70% of Americans are dissatisfied with their current jobs. With these statistics, it's no surprise that people want to be financially free. However, there are a few things that many people do that make it extremely difficult to escape the rat race. We'll refer to them as the 7 financial sins. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any of the videos that we release each week. Let's get started. Sin number 1. Most people do not plan their finances. Many people receive their paycheck and begin paying their bills, groceries, and a few other expenses, hoping to have enough money left over at the end of the month. You'll have more control over your finances and avoid overspending if you plan your savings, living expenses, and spending budget ahead of time. Most people have no idea where their money is going, and in many cases, they overestimate how much money they actually have in their bank accounts when making a purchase. So I'd like to put you to the test and check your bank account every day for the next 30 days. It may not always look pretty, but you will be much more aware of what you have and where your money is going, which will help you decide whether or not to buy those $85 sunglasses. When you actively manage your own money, you get better at it, and you'll be more prepared and much more effective when you have the opportunity to manage your more money. Sin number 2. Using consumer credit. According to CNBC, there is over $747 billion in consumer credit card debts. That equates to more than $16,000 per person with a credit card. Now, there are a few advantages to using credit cards, such as increasing your credit line, which is important. Many cards include protection insurances in the event of the theft loss, and they may also include benefits such as cashback, airline miles, and points that can be redeemed. However, if credit cards are not used properly, they can have a negative impact on your finances. This is due to the fact that credit cards encourage people to spend more money than they have. You can have $100 in your pocket and be able to spend $1,000. And because you don't have to pay the full amount back right away, it is much easier for you to blow your budget. As previously stated, failing to plan your finances can lead to excessive spending, which is financially risky. Overspending on consumer credit, on the other hand, is even riskier. This is due to the fact that credit cards have extremely high interest rates that can range from 8% to 30% per month. Sin number 3. Failing to save for retirement or financial independence. Many people who save money do so for a rainy day or to buy cool toys, but only a small percentage save for retirement or financial independence. Consider this. You may be young and able to generate income now, but you may not be able to do so in the future. And with Social Security failing, you cannot simply delegate that responsibility to the government or even your children. Your retirement and financial freedom are your responsibility. And even if it's not much, every little bit counts, especially if you put it to work and have a compound with investments. For example, if you only put $100 a month in with a 7% return after taxes and fees, you'll have over $167,000 in 35 years, and that's just with $100 a month. It is worthwhile to begin investing. The sooner, the better. Sin number 4. Putting too much emphasis on money and ignoring the process. Rich and successful people such as Richard Branson, Oprah, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and many others share the same philosophy in which they say you have to love the process or you have to be passionate. If you go into business only to make money, you're better off doing nothing, said Richard Branson. One thing I'm sure you've noticed is that when you try to go for the money while ignoring and disrespecting the process, you always end up losing. For example, if you have a business but you don't have any interest in building relationships with your customers, you can make a quick sale but you'll miss out on a lifetime of business by ignoring this process. Sin number 5. Making minimum credit card payments. For example, suppose you have $5,000 in credit card debts with a 16% interest rate and you happily make the minimum payment of $350 because it doesn't take up much of his paycheck. The problem is that you haven't done the math, so you don't realize that the interest alone adds $800 to your debt. And even though you're paying every month, your debt keeps growing, which means your interest rate rises, and soon you find yourself with more debt that you can handle. Consider this. Credit cards have extremely high interest rates. The average interest rate on consumer credit cards is more than 15%. Assume you have $1,000 in credit card debts and make the minimum payment of $50 each month. You will be charged an interest of $150 but only pay $50. You will end up having $1,100 in the next month, and then paying the minimum of $50, and you will be charged $165 in interest because the debt has increased, and the debt would rise to $1,215. If you continue this manner, the interest rate fee will compound over time until the debt becomes too large to pay. Sin number 6. Making financial decisions based on emotion. Making financial decisions based on emotion can put you in a vulnerable position, simply because you are not as strategic and rational with your thinking when you are in a sensitive emotional stage, and you are more likely to make mistakes. This can include both positive and negative emotions. If we are, for example, very happy and optimistic in a sort of manic mode, you can make investments that appear to be great ideas and quick ways to make money until you start thinking about it logically. Or, if you are in a negative state, you tend to be very unpredictable. It is best to avoid making important decisions following a major event that causes an emotional shift. This will enable you to make decisions based on logic and logic rather than emotion, and will make you much smarter with your money. You can remember about Steve Jobs. Out of retaliation for being fired from Apple, he sold all his stock in the company. He eventually got some of his shares back, but he was only left with 0.6% of the company, which is still worth around $1.8 billion. However, if he had avoided making an emotional decision, he would have kept over $66 billion from Apple. Sin number 7. Failing to educate ourselves financially. Money is not taught in school, and the majority of our parents were not wealthy either, so learning about personal finance and how to manage your money, as well as how to leverage and grow your money, is your responsibility. Neglecting this area will keep us uneducated and thus less likely to become financially independent. Alright guys, let me know if you agree with this list, and if I'm missing anything, please let us know through the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to share it with your family and friends. Thanks for watching!